Let me commend the authors of this bill for the hard work they put in on an important issue. I agree that big tech exercises a concentration of power that I think is unknown in the history of mankind. And that concentration of power is regularly used to trample on the little guy, to trample on companies they do business with, and in this instance, to trample on local media organizations, whether you're talking about small-town newspapers, whether you're talking about local broadcasters, anyone in the journalism space that is producing content. Big tech routinely, daily, hourly, appropriates their content, rebroadcasts it, earns billions of dollars of revenue through advertisements in the process of broadcasting it, and gives not one penny of compensation for the creators of that content. I agree with Senator Klobuchar that that is an unfair system, and it is an abusive system. As I expressed at the initial markup we had on this bill, my principal concern is that big tech's abuse of power is not limited to the exercise of market power. They also abuse their power mightily in the public square. More and more, they are nakedly and brazenly engaging in censorship, silencing views they don't like. Right now, it so happens the views that they're silencing are right of center, but there's no guarantee that will continue. And indeed, for my Democratic colleagues, I would point out, whether you agree or disagree with the speech they're silencing, the idea that we would cede monopoly control of public discussion in America to 3 or 4 billionaires in Silicon Valley, modern-day American oligarchs, is profoundly dangerous. And you might agree with them today, but if they have the arbitrary power to decide tomorrow they disagree with you, and so your views, what you have to say, will be silenced, that is, I think, incredibly dangerous. My concern with this bill as initially drafted is the antitrust immunity directed at allowing smaller media outlets to negotiate reasonable compensation packages could be used as a shield to negotiate agreements to further censorship. I think that would be a terrible outcome, and as I said at the initial markup, if we were able to adopt my amendment to prevent censorship, to protect free speech, then I would support the bill. And if we could not adopt that amendment, then I would oppose the bill. Initially, as everyone here is aware, when we took up the amendment, a majority of this committee voted to adopt my amendment. At that point, the authors of the bill pulled down the bill from further consideration. In the 2 weeks that followed, I've had extensive conversations. I've had extensive conversations with Senator Kennedy, and I've had extensive conversations with Senator Klobuchar, and sat down and heard her concerns, and we worked together on this amendment. I think this is a good amendment. I think this is a significant amendment. I think this amendment protects against this antitrust liability being used as a shield for censorship. Big tech hates this bill. That, to me, is a strong positive for supporting it. Moreover, if this amendment is adopted, this will be the first meaningful consequence for and protection against censorship based on viewpoint and content in the big tech space. That's a big deal, and so I join Senator Klobuchar in urging support for this amendment.